Good evening and welcome to the commencement ceremony for the class of 2019 of Northwest High School. Would everyone please remain standing and join me in the presentation of colors and remain standing during the national anthem played by the Northwest High School Band. Thank you. You may be seated. I would like to introduce several important and honored guests who are in attendance for today's ceremony and whose support for the class of 2019 is much appreciated. Please stand as your names are read. Seated on stage are Mrs. Pam Detzel, the President of the Northwest Local School District Board of Education, and Mr. Todd Bowling, Superintendent of the Northwest Local School District, as well as Northwest High School Social Studies teacher, Mr. Doug Ficker, who will be speaking later this evening. Also seated on stage are several honored students who will be recognized throughout our ceremony this evening. In the stadium are other important guests. Please stand when your name is called. Northwest Local School District Board members, Ms. Diane Bradley, Mr. Jim Detzel, Mr. Joe Yoshimura, Mr. Mark Gilbert, as well as Central Office Administrators, Mr. Daryl Yater, Assistant Superintendent, Mrs. Amy Wells, District CFO Treasurer, Dr. Stephanie Kessling, Executive Director of Curriculum, Mr. Chris McKee, Director of Business Operations, Mr. Dustin Gehring, Assistant Director of Community Services, Mrs. Heidi Stickney, Assistant Director of Special Education Services, Dr. Crystal Interney, Assistant Director of Recruitment, Diversity, and Employee Relations, Mrs. Chris Langford, Assistant Treasurer, Mrs. Jennifer Blust, Federal Programs Supervisor, and Mr. Chris Trentman, Satellite Supervisor for Northwest High School Butler Tech Programs. Thank you for being here. Seated on the floor are Assistant Principals Mr. Tom Marshall, Mr. Mark Zimmerly, Athletic Director Mr. Brad Watkins, and Dean of Students Mr. Winston Licata. Please stand and be recognized. I would also like to thank Officer Thomas and Mr. Byrne for their supervision and commitment to keeping our students safe. Congratulations, yes. Seated to my left are our dedicated and caring guidance counselors, Mrs. Emily Jones, Ms. Brittany Summers, and Mrs. Ginny Schuler. High school is a journey for sure, and these three women have worked with the graduates to check credits, schedule classes, register for the ACT, complete college applications, send transcripts, and were people to lean on during difficult times. The long hours they have worked and their diligence to make sure all of the students are here to graduate today should be commended. Please join me in thanking our guidance counselors. Also seated to my left are the senior class advisors who will read the names of the graduates today. These advisors spent 20 minutes each day with your students as part of our newly designed advisory program and have been a support system for your students through the many changes in high school. They are honored to be reading your students' names this evening. And on my right are additional staff members participating in today's ceremony. I think I speak for our students and our parents when I say we have an unbelievable staff. They're devoted to the success of the students at Northwest High School. They have high expectations, challenge our students, want the best for our students, and work around the clock to be there for our students. Please join me in thanking our wonderful staff members. There are many people without whom today's ceremony would not be possible. Thank you to our junior students who served as part of our Ivy chain this evening. Their names are listed in your program. Thank you to band director Mr. Tim Heening and student musicians for today's music. Thank you to choir director Mr. Matt Murata and the choir students for their upcoming performance. Thank you to the Northwest office staff, especially Pam Hoffman and Lisa Hunt, for all of their help organizing the many aspects of today's ceremony behind the scenes. Thank you for all you do from the bottom of my heart. Yes, thank you. At this time, I would also like to thank Mrs. Wendy Piccini, our PTSA president, and Mrs. Dana Schoen, our booster president, who have been involved in countless events to support the students and staff at Northwest High School. I would also like to thank Mrs. Kathy Ackerman and Mrs. Melissa Obermeyer from the PTSA and their help in planning after prom for our graduating seniors. This community is very appreciative of all that both of these groups do for our students, so we want to thank you. We also appreciate Herff Jones Graduate Services for their help outfitting today's graduates, Life Touch for taking the photographs of the students today, and Waycross Media for filming this ceremony, as well as the staff of BB&T Arena for help coordinating today's event. And I would be remiss if I didn't take a minute to congratulate all of the family members of our graduates today. I know you are as proud of these students as I am. Each of you played a significant part in shaping these graduates into the young men and women they are today. I always use the expression, it takes a village, and I appreciate that you have shared your students with us and trusted us to educate them in some of their most formative years. Their success today is a reflection of all of you, and I'm glad that so many people were able to join us to share in the success of these students today. Graduates, please take a minute and give the people who have supported you a round of applause. And to the seniors, you made it. This year, we committed to be better together. And under your leadership, this could not have been more true. We were better together. We were better together when our band performed after a football game this year, and the entire team stayed and joined arms to support each other. We were better together when one of our classmates and their family needed us, and we worked to be there for one another. Throughout your 4 years at Northwest, you have had many peaks and valleys, but you have had each other. You are better together than you are apart. I admire this class for always sticking together, for sharing each other's successes, and for picking one another up when needed. I know that I am a better principal because of the time that we have spent together, and I thank you for that. I also thank you for allowing me to share my Britney Spears routine at prom with you. I'm still not sure who pranked me and had me on stage with the DJ, but thank you. As you leave Northwest, remember that you will always be better together. That's not just a catchy high school slogan. The bonds you have formed will last your entire lifetime. As you join new communities in a world that is tumultuous right now, know that you are better with the help of others. Find a support system that is there with you through anything, but also be that person for someone else. What we give comes back to us. Please remember that, and remember that you always have a place at Northwest. I look forward to seeing what all of you will do and who you will become. Congratulations. At this time, I would like to introduce our first student speaker of the evening, summa cum laude graduate Emily Scheib.
Good evening. Let's imagine for a moment we're taking a hike or walking in the halls of Northwest. Every hike starts off on a paved path with clear markings as to which way we should go. The sky is blue and it seems to be a perfect day. The halls of the school are quiet and clear and the floors are freshly waxed. Classes are easy and you are adjusting to the new school year. But as we start our hike, the paved paths becomes dirt roads and we are surrounded by the dense cover of trees. Bugs swarm and the hike begins to get exhausting and we become uncomfortable. The halls start to fill with bustling students and become filled with noise as friends catch up between classes. The familiarity of summer is starting to fade. And as we enter the final stages of our hike, the path becomes unclear. It is overgrown with weeds, and to the right side there is a cliff that with one wrong move, it would not end well. We just want to be done and back in our comfort zone. The halls become overcrowded, and you rush to finish the homework that is due in 1 minute. And despite all the arguments, there is no greater sport than trying to finish homework as the teacher is collecting it. And no matter how loud you turn up your music, you just can't drown out the noise. But at the end of the hike, once we have navigated the path and struggled through the mud, as we get to our destination, the view at the top was worth all of the challenges. As we wind down our classes at Northwest, we can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel, and the end of high school midterms, spirit weeks, and Friday night football. Then we start our hike back down, and as we leave high school, our path becomes complicated, and no one is on the same path. Each of us are individuals that will navigate a unique path. However, we're not quite sure what we're doing or where our path is exactly leading us. It is confusing, unclear, scary, and accompanied by advice that sometimes makes things harder. And for a long time, our future may be unclear. But slowly, the complicated path turns into a clear dirt road, still with its own struggles and challenges, but nonetheless clear. And we finally make it onto that paved, clear path, and we can either start a new hike or enjoy and reflect on the journey that we were just on and the successes it brought us. But how does this relate to us? That initial hike up is kind of like the path when we started high school. We were all seemingly on a clear path with tons of guidance, and it just got more and more complicated as we got older. Our future became cloudy, and we are now far outside of our comfort zone. But that path on the way back down is also a reflection of our future. We are currently in a confusing and scary time, but our path certainly isn't going to be like that forever. Each of us has an individual plan, whether that be military, college, work, or you may even be still trying to figure out your plan. But even if we have an idea of what our future is going to look like, that path still has unseen challenges that we will face regardless of how much we think we have things figured out. Eventually, just like that hike and our journey through Northwest, we will find our way. But it's going to look different for each one of us, but that's what makes it special and allows us to succeed. Thank you and congratulations. At this time, I would like to introduce the Nightlights, who will perform a selection for us this evening.
No one would hear. Well, let that lonely feeling wash away. Maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay. 'Cause when you don't feel strong enough to stand, you can reach out your hand. And oh, someone will come running, and I know they'll take you home.
Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, and when you're broken on the ground. It's a place where you don't have to feel unknown. And every time that you call out, you're a little less alone. If you only say the word from across the silence, your voice is heard. Someone will come running. Someone will come running. Someone will come running to take you home, to take you home, to take you home. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, and when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. You'll reach up and you rise again. If you only look around, you will be found. You will be found. You will be found. Out of the shadows, the morning is breaking, and all is new. All is new. It's filling up the empty, and suddenly I see that all is new. All is new. You are not alone. You are not alone. You are not alone. You are not alone. You are not. You are not alone. You will be found when the sun comes streaming in. 'Cause you reach up and you rise again. If you only look around, you will be found. Even when the dark comes crashing through, you will be found. When you need someone to carry you, you will be found. You will be found.
You will be found.
Thank you to the members of the Nightlights. That was wonderful. The class of 2019 would like to thank our PTSA Educator of the Year recipient, Mr. Joe Flickinger. Please stand. Mr. Flickinger stood out for his effort to go above and beyond for the students of Northwest High School, not for the recognition, but because he has a passion for doing whatever it takes for our students to achieve at their highest potential and to promote success among our students, and he is a published author. We would also like to recognize the winners of the PTSA Friend of the Children Award, Ms. Ruby Riaz and Ms. Becky Rolfert. This year, you could find these women working on events for our staff and students at all hours of the night, and we are blessed to have community members that support Northwest students the way these women do. Ms. Ruby also helped with our Ivy chain this evening. Thank you to the both of these women. We also need to thank a very important person to the class of 2019, Mrs. Stoser. Please stand. For the last few years, Mrs. Stoser has organized many fundraisers and events for this class. This is a thankless job, but Mrs. Stoser has worked many hours outside of her teaching schedule to ensure these high school years are memorable and enjoyable for this class. Most recently, she planned prom and all of the behind-the-scenes details that go with this event, which is no small feat. Please join me in thanking our wonderful senior class sponsor.
There are several students in the class of 2019 who have accomplished many academic feats throughout their 4 years at Northwest High School. In addition to the summa cum laude graduates seated on stage, students who earned a weighted grade point average of 4.35 or higher have obtained the distinction of magna cum laude. Please stand when your name is read and hold all applause until the end. Michael Bongabong, Samantha Kane, Jenna Goodman, Brian Jordan, Thomas Klein, Austin Leet, Van Wynn, Haley Scholes, Ricky Seifert, Ariel Smith, and Kaylee Williams. Cum laude graduates are those that earned at least a 3.75 weighted grade point average throughout their high school career. Please stand as your name is called and hold all applause until all names are read. Taylor Bell, Miriam Bonney, Sierra Boyd, Laszlo Lopez, Jared Cartwright, Sierra Clark, Brianna Eichenlaub, Tobias Finley, Caitlin Gertie, Isaiah Griffin, Ashley Harris, Shaylin Hines, Whitley Jansen, Brijan Jones, Lacey Jones, Tori Latimer, Gabrielle Mahar, Jonathan McIntyre, Sean Miller, Rayshawn Oglesby, Kashina Owens, Trisha Marie Pasa, Brandon Fong, Sarah Reed, Diamani Rice, Hannah Rucker, Adriana Salazar, Nathan Sander, Eric Shelton, Celia Slaughter, Christina Snyder, Joya Steed, Ruby Taboda, Natlin Tran, Kyla Washington, Elijah Wilder, Margaret Wood, Zachary Worsham, and Richard Yamada. Because of the hard work and academic abilities of the students of the class of 2019, collectively over $2.8 million was awarded to this group of students by colleges and universities. The senior class 5 years ago started a tradition of selecting a speaker for our graduation ceremony who knows this class well, who we look up to, and who can impart some final words of wisdom on us. The class of 2019 has chosen Mr. Ficker. He is the Social Studies Department Chair and teaches government and AP government. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Ficker to the podium.
Good evening. I'd like to extend a sincere thank you to the leaders of the senior class for asking me to speak at this important moment in their lives. It's an extreme honor and a privilege to address you all. My youngest son, Max, is graduating this year, which puts me in a sentimental mood. I can remember when he graduated from kindergarten in 2007. His school gave everyone a Class of 2019 t-shirt. When I was doing his laundry and folding the shirt for the first time, I thought, good Lord, 2019, that seems so far away. He's long outgrown the shirt, but that moment that seems so far into the future has arrived. It's time for him and all of you to move on with your lives. Most graduation speeches divvy out conventional wisdom on the secrets to a successful life. The speaker is supposed to mention what he or she has learned over the years, inspiring the graduates to live life to the fullest. I'd like to turn this around and list the ways the class of 2019 has inspired me over the last few years. First, to the entire class. I've watched you help each other through tough times. You were there for your friends when they needed someone to listen to them. You were the givers of tough love when it was needed. And you've been very accepting of others despite your differences. The best part about Northwest High School, I believe, is our students and our diversity. You've weaved your way through the ups and downs of high school and the challenges that life has thrown at you and your peers with a sense of togetherness and pride. You've helped me understand the value of compassion. Please take these qualities with you into your post-high school life. Second, some individual shout-outs. To Gabby Mahar for pushing me to give this speech. As an introvert, speaking today in front of all these people is terrifying. Yet, you believe in me and encouraged me to do this and taught someone who's stuck in his ways that it's never too late to challenge yourself and to try new endeavors. A big thank you to the seniors who also gave me words of reassurance. Your confidence in me is inspiring. Speaking about learning new stuff, Lauren Carroll is an expert at it. She's studying 2 languages on her own and shared her knowledge with me many mornings before school. Thank you for the inspiration. There's always time to educate yourself and exercise your brain. Reading is a great way to expand your mind. Sarah Reed and Heather Rolford validated that every day. I've never seen students read so much. There's an old saying that patience is a virtue. Joe Delaney demonstrated this every time I called him Dan virtually every day of his junior year. My apologies to his brother. And a positive attitude goes a long way when starting your day. Brianna Eichenlaub, Tori Latimer, Tricia Pasa, Anna Lemon, and Markeisha Riley all greeted me with a giant smile and a warm hello almost every morning. Thank you for the pick-me-ups. It's always good to keep searching for answers to problems and never be satisfied until something close to perfection is achieved. Thank you, Cam Laughlin, Melanie Wilsbach, and Sarah Woodall for reminding me of that. Creating a permanent and heavy presence in an institution creates a legacy. Austin Tom, Blake Madden, and Ben Walden have created a legacy in my classroom. Seriously, guys, a decade from now, I'll have to look at the Truman Monument and think of you 3 and laugh. And a heavy presence it is. I'll need a crew to move it when I retire. I also learned the importance of Viking heritage from Blake. Sometimes our physical makeup can't keep up with our mental acuity. There's dignity in fighting our perceived limitations and bad breaks. Corey Martini and Haley Cash maintained their pride and fighting spirit despite the difficulties their health placed on them. You both have had a lasting impact on your school community. Leadership is essential for a group to function smoothly, even when the activity doesn't count for a grade. I could always count on Haley Russell and Myquan Robinson to start our advisory discussions on an intellectual high point. Thank you both for sharing, for your willingness to share your successes and failures of your young lives to your peers. Preparation and focus are 2 keys to a successful career. Thank you, Mia Bonney, for making sure I was always wide awake, even for the last class of the day. Mr. Posta thanks you too. Kyla Washington made sure I focused on the learning tasks at hand. She helped me compensate for my extreme end-of-the-day ADD with a simple, Mr. Ficker, focus. One is never too old to change his fashion style. Just ask Tu Cal, Jacob Ackerman, and Jack Obermeyer. They did a wonderful job bridging the gap between generations when we coordinated outfits on Out of Uniform Day. Thanks, gentlemen, for making me feel young. One final lesson. Don't let others characterize who you are and create false expectations for you. Don't define your life on what others expect of you. I'm most inspired by Ricky Seifert, who, despite what others told him, carved his own groundbreaking path in life. I've learned a lot about the power of believing in yourself from Ricky, and I pray all the time that the bigoted leaders in Washington, D.C. will realize that patriotism comes in many forms, and that a love of one's country is all that matters when an outstanding citizen wants to serve his country. Before I go, I must throw out some simple advice out there for you. Whatever you choose to do in life, be great at it. There's pride in hard work, and there's great rewards to those who practice it every day. And unless your mom was Aunt Becky on TV, nothing will be handed to you. Godspeed, class of 2019, and good luck.
Thank you, Mr. Ficker. There are over 30 students in this class who were inducted into the National Honor Society. These students excel not only in the classroom, but serve their community and are involved in extracurricular activities as well. This group of students runs the free tutoring program we have at Northwest High School. Today, these students are wearing blue and gold cords from the National Honor Society. Would these students please stand and be recognized? Also, there are several students who were awarded the distinction of being selected for the National Technical Honor Society through Butler Tech. Please stand and be recognized. This year, the state of Ohio has awarded honors diplomas for graduates who meet academic and career technical qualifications. Students who have met the criteria for an honors diploma will be recognized this evening as well. These students are identified in your program, and the advisor will read with honors after the student's name who will receive an honors diploma or a career technical honors diploma. Our partnership with Butler Tech has afforded many students opportunities in career technical education. Students are able to choose from 14 programs between the Northwest and Colerain campuses. Additionally, students from 10 neighboring school districts, including Northwest, enroll in programs on 4 of Butler Tech campuses. Will all students that completed a Butler Tech program this year please stand and be recognized? Perfect attendance is awarded to students who have no absences, no tardies, and no early dismissals from school. 2 students in this class have 2 straight years of perfect attendance. Van Wynn and Max Pearson. Please stand and be recognized. We also have 2 students in this class that did not miss a day of school for their entire high school career. That's 720 consecutive school days. Those students are Heather Rolfert and Jacob Smith. Please stand and be recognized. There are 4 students in this class who have made the decision to enlist with the military upon graduation. We thank these young men and women for their patriotism and commitment to protect the freedoms of our country as official members of the Army, Army National Guard, and the Navy. Talia Calvin, DJ Jackson, Elijah Osborne, and Melanie Wilsbach, please stand and be recognized. Additional awards were given to students that we would like to acknowledge at this time. Teachers in each department nominated 2 students to recognize on Senior Honors Night for their overall contributions to the courses the students took in that department. Medals were given to the students to signify their excellence in the content of these classes. Would those students who received department awards please stand? Beyond academic recognition, there are many honors that have been bestowed on our competitive musical groups at Northwest High School. And these groups had very successful seasons, as well as a very successful production of The Little Shop of Horrors. Thank you to our musical directors, Mr. Heening, Mrs. Crawford, and Mr. Murata. Would the senior members of the band, orchestra, and show choir please stand and be recognized? Northwest High School has a strong partnership with the Cincinnati Police Federal Credit Union. We have a student branch of the credit union in our school's cafeteria, and we would like to thank Mrs. Lind and Mrs. West for their support and dedication to our school and to the financial literacy of our students, as well as Mr. Clark for the work he does to lead this group. We would also like to recognize the managers of the Knights Credit Union, Andrew Smith, Gabby Mahar, Caitlin Gertie, and Tricia Passat. Please stand and be recognized. The only way to truly capture the memories of the past year is through pictures and captions in our yearbook. Seniors who helped on the yearbook this staff are Laszlo Lopez, Asia Love, and Ben Campbell. Thank you to the hard work of one senior in particular, Gabby Mahar, for her leadership with this publication under the direction of Mr. Gillian. Would these senior students on the yearbook staff please stand and be recognized? Our senior student athletes had a memorable year as well. 66 students were recognized by the SWAC conference as a member of the all-academic team, which means they carried a 3.5 GPA while earning a varsity letter. 47 student athletes have been named to the All Southwest Ohio Conference teams in their respective sports. This includes 17 students who earned first team honors. We had 3 Southwest Ohio Conference Players of the Year and 3 Southwest Ohio Coaches of the Year. There were 6 Southwest Ohio Conference team or individual championships at Northwest, 7 district qualifiers, and 3 All-Ohio selections. Additionally, we had a state qualifier in women's bowling, Sophia Fisher, and a men's bowling state qualifier, Max Pearson from this class. Please stand and be recognized. There are 24 students in this graduating class who have signed letters of intent to play sports at the collegiate level. And something for which we should be very proud is that our student athletes have amassed a cumulative 3.44 GPA throughout this school year. Would seniors who were varsity athletes this year please stand and be recognized? Being a leader and being able to take initiative are important qualities to having success in life. At this time, we would like to recognize the senior class officers. Please stand when your name is called and hold applause until all names are read. President, Gabby Mahar. Vice President, Caitlin Gertie. Secretary, Mia Bonney. Treasurer, Samantha Kane. Thank you to these officers for their help with planning the many senior activities and creating us memories that will be with us for quite some time. Thank you. Our Student Senate and executive members organize community service events, pep rallies, dances, staff and student recognition events, spirit weeks, helped feed needy families during the holidays, and ran organizational meetings. This group is led by Mrs. Bowling, Mrs. Young, and Mrs. Daly. We would like to recognize our Student Senate executive officers. Please stand to be recognized. President Jack Obermeyer, Vice President Gabby Mahar, Treasurer Tu Cow, Recording Secretary Mia Bonney, and Corresponding Secretary Sydney Adams. United Knights is a group of student athletes selected to represent Northwest High School. This group attended leadership conferences, planned the Spooky Stroll fundraiser, and participated in community events, as well as helped to clean up the stands after home contests. The advisors for this group are Mr. Van Gasbeck and Mr. Wagner. Would seniors who are a part of United Knights please stand and be recognized? We created a new program this year that provided students with an additional pathway for graduation called Knights Success Academy. Students recovered credits while being employed. This group had a 100% graduation rate and was extremely successful under the leadership of 2 of our teachers, Mrs. Spence and Mrs. Lavallee. Would the students graduating who were part of the KSA program please stand and be recognized? And at this time, I would like to invite senior summa cum laude graduate speaker Sarah Woodall to the podium.
Hello, Northwest staff, students, family, and friends. Today is a day many of us have been eagerly anticipating. I remember being told in the 3rd grade that we were the class of 2019. It seems so far away, like an impossible destination to reach. I imagined flying cars and robots taking over the world before 2019 happened. Nevertheless, here we are, and not a single one of my predictions came true. What did come true was an abundance of precious memories I will never forget. From classes to clubs to lunches, I have shared some of the most important moments in my life with the people sitting in front of me today. Strangers have become friends, friends have become best friends, and best friends have become family. Whether it was working on a group project, preparing for a quiz team match, or needing a ride home from a Friday night football game, I always had someone to count on. I want to thank you all for making my high school experience so special. Going through these last 4 years, I have changed so much. I came into the school a shy 14-year-old, knowing no one but my brother. Now I'm standing in front of you, a mixture of excited and terrified, facing the next chapter in my life. The staff and students here are some I can never forget. Overall, the good memories way outweigh the bad, and I'm sad to know that my time at Northwest has come to an end. I can't wait to be able to tell my kids about ping pong club and AP Gov, book clubs during lunch, late nights writing a 3-page essay that was assigned weeks ago, and inside jokes no one else could even begin to understand. I have learned so much throughout my years with you, but most importantly, I have learned how to make mistakes and grow from them. I would like to end this chapter in our lives with a quote from one of the most sophisticated, influential movies of our generation, Eclipse. At Forks High School graduation, Jessica, played by the magnificent Anna Kendrick, says, "This isn't the time to make hard and fast decisions. It's the time to make mistakes. Change your mind, then change it again, because nothing is permanent." As silly as it is to take advice from a movie about sparkling vampires, I hope you all remember this phrase going through your life. It's okay to make mistakes and change your mind, because that's how you grow as a person. I can't wait to see the people you all become in the coming years, and I hope you find success in all aspects of your future. Congratulations, Class of 2019. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Seated on stage are the 11 students who earned the distinction of Summa Cum Laude graduates. They have obtained a minimum cumulative weighted grade point average of a 4.65 or higher throughout their high school career and are graduating in the top 5% of the very competitive Class of 2019. At this time, we would like to introduce these distinguished graduates. Graduates, please stand when your name is called. Jacob Ackerman, son of Paul and Kathy Ackerman, will graduate summa cum laude with a weighted GPA of 4.85 and is ranked 7th in the class. Jacob will attend the University of Cincinnati. While at Northwest, Jacob participated in cross country, tennis, quiz team, band, and United Knights. Jacob was also a member of National Honor Society. Jacob's favorite class was calculus, and his favorite teacher was Mr. Van Gasbeck. Tu Cao, son of Quang Cao and Van Nguyen, will graduate summa cum laude with a weighted GPA of 4.94 and is ranked 2nd in his class. Tu will be attending the University of Cincinnati. While attending Northwest, Tu participated in varsity tennis, Student Senate, United Knights, BPA, and Key Club. Tu's awards and recognitions include competing at the BPA National Conference. His favorite class was financial services, and his favorite teacher was Mr. Clark. Lauren Carroll, daughter of Kevin and Melinda Carroll, will graduate with a weighted GPA of 4.66 and is ranked 9th in her class. Lauren will attend Coastal Carolina University. While at Northwest, Lauren has participated in Senate, softball, bowling, United Knights, and National Honor Society. Lauren's awards and recognitions include All-Ohio Scholar Athlete and the Page Award for bowling. Lauren's favorite classes were biology and zoology, and her favorite teacher was Mr. Chapman. Dylan DeBruler, son of Russell and Joan DeBruler, will graduate with a weighted GPA of 4.65 and is ranked 10th in the class. Dylan has chosen to attend Ohio University. While at Northwest, he participated in United Knights and National Honor Society. His favorite class was AP Stats, and his favorite teacher was Mr. Van Gasbeck. Haley Cash, daughter of Ken and Robin Cash, will graduate with a weighted GPA of 4.65 and is ranked 11th in the class. Haley plans on attending Miami University. While at Northwest, she participated in Art Club, Book Club, and the Student Book Reviewers. Her awards and recognitions include Outstanding Knight Award, French Honor Society, and National Honor Society. Her favorite classes were art and French, and her favorite teachers were Mrs. Stewart, Mrs. Buckley, and Mrs. Miller. Jack Obermeyer, son of Edward and Melissa Obermeyer, will graduate with a weighted GPA of 4.94 and is ranked 3rd in the class. He will be attending Indiana State University. While at Northwest, Jack participated in marching band, pep band, show choir, jazz combo, Key Club, Student Senate, NHS, and BPA. His awards and recognitions include Northwest Business Exchange Club Youth of the Year, BPA State Qualifier, and a member of the OMEA All-State Band. Jack's favorite class was financial services, and his favorite teacher was Mrs. Castor. Heather Rolfert, daughter of Brent and Becky Rolfert, will graduate with a weighted GPA of 4.88 and is ranked 6th in the class. While attending Northwest, Heather participated in Color Guard, Art Club, Book Club, and Student Book Reviewers. Her awards and recognitions include Spanish Honor Society, 4-year perfect attendance, and honor roll. Heather's favorite classes were art and English, and her favorite teachers were Mrs. Miller and Mrs. Stewart. Caitlin Scheib, daughter of Randy and Susan Scheib, will graduate with a weighted GPA of 4.88 and is ranked 5th in the class. Caitlin plans on attending the Savannah College of Art and Design. While at Northwest, Caitlin participated in Color Guard, Golf, Senate, United Knights, and BPA. Outside of Northwest, she participated in Northern Cincinnati Youth Orchestra and Girl Scouts. Her awards and honors include NHS, Honor Roll, Academic All-SWAC, Second Team SWAC, and placed first in state for BPA and competed at nationals. Caitlin's favorite class was statistics, and her favorite teacher was Mrs. Castor. Emily Scheib, daughter of Randy and Susan Scheib, will graduate with a weighted GPA of 4.96 and is ranked 1st in her class. She plans on attending Eastern Kentucky University. While at Northwest, Emily participated in swimming, Color Guard, Student Senate, and United Knights. Outside of Northwest, she participated in the Northern Cincinnati Youth Orchestra. Her awards and recognitions include NHS, National French Honor Society, and was a 4-year varsity award winner. Emily's favorite class was chemistry, and her favorite teacher was Ms. Stoser. Melanie Wilsbach, daughter of Todd and Jennifer Wilsbach, will graduate with a weighted GPA of 4.91 and is ranked 4th in the class. Melanie plans to attend The Ohio State University. While at Northwest, she participated in varsity soccer, varsity football, United Knights, BPA, and Student Senate. Outside of Northwest, she participated in Young Life, Animal Adoption Foundation, and club soccer. Her awards include National Honor Society, top 10 in the nation for fundamental spreadsheet applications, and first team all-conference in soccer. Melanie's favorite class was financial services, and her favorite teacher was Mr. Clark. Sarah Woodall, daughter of Stephanie Brett and Tim and Janet Woodall, will graduate with a weighted GPA of 4.69 and is ranked 8th in the class. She will be attending Miami University. While at Northwest, she participated in Student Senate, Varsity Quiz Team, FCCLA, Student Book Reviewers, Key Club, and Future Writers Club. Outside of Northwest, she participated in a local youth group and volunteered at the Animal Adoption Foundation. Her awards include NHS, Knight of the Month, and Outstanding Knight. Sarah's favorite class was AP Statistics, and her favorite teacher was Mrs. Miller. Please join me in congratulating all of our Summa Cum Laude graduates on their achievements. At this time, I would like to introduce Jack Obermeyer to the podium for the senior farewell speech.
When writing a graduation speech, there are major questions that everyone stresses over. How can my speech be relatable and memorable, all while being unique? Most speeches involve some type of inspirational quote, a personal backstory, and how both of these things relate to the speaker, the audience, and the whole essence of graduation. So let's get going in writing a graduation speech. Let's start with a quote from one of the most popular books a graduate can receive, Of the Places You'll Go, in which Dr. Seuss tells us, "So be sure when you step, step with great care and great tact, and remember that life's a great balancing act. And will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. 98 3/4% guaranteed." Maybe there's a reason that this book is given to graduates so often. Both the book and the quote reflect the entire spirit of graduation. Moving on to a new stage of life, not knowing where we're going, and that as long as we proceed in our endeavors with confidence and passion, we can all leave our marks on this world. Inspirational quote, check. Now on to a personal backstory. One of the biggest influences on my life has definitely been having siblings that are significantly older than me. It's common knowledge for those who know me, but for those who don't, I have a brother who is 7 years older and a sister who is 9 years older than me. Because of this, I like to say I get the best of both worlds because I get to have siblings, but they're so old that they're out of the house that I can get the only child experience, as I like to say, from my parents. While it was not always the ideal situation, mostly because when I was 9, my brother was 16, so I'm sure you can imagine all the fights we would very frequently get into, I got to learn many valuable lessons from my siblings. They show me that when we have to be able to adapt to whatever happens in our lives, and that nothing ever really goes to plan. They've shown me that hard work really does pay off, and we always have to put forward 110%. But most of all, they have shown me unconditional love, and I know that I am lucky enough to say that they have always had my back, and I hope they know that I will always have theirs. While everyone might not have older siblings like me, I believe that we can all learn these lessons from somebody in our lives, whether it be a parent, a teacher, or a friend. All right, personal backstory, check. Now on to how these two things go together. What's the meaning behind all of this? Yes, a lot of graduation speeches follow the same format, but maybe there's a reason for that. If something works, why would we change it? Why can we can think about this in our lives? If we think about what we're doing in our lives, then why would we change it if we are like what we are doing? But it's important to know when it is time for change and to break the status quo. Both Dr. Seuss and my siblings, although there's a comparison I never thought I would make in my life, have taught me that no matter where we are in our lives, whether it be content with our current situation or wanting to see a change, we have to take matters into our own hands. We cannot be afraid to take these moves because much like my siblings are there for me, we will always have people there to support us and catch us when we fall. Whether you're successful and happy with where you are in your life now, or want to keep pushing boundaries, as long as you act with determination and passion, you'll never know the places you can go. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. At this time, I'm honored to introduce to you our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Todd Bowling. Mr. Bowling, it gives me great pleasure to present to you the members of the Northwest High School Class of 2019. I hereby certify that the candidates seated before you have met the requirements prescribed by the Board of Education, and I present them to you for the conferring of diplomas.
On behalf of the Northwest Local School District Administration, I wish to congratulate the graduating class of 2019. Mrs. Smith, the credentials of the candidates presented here today has been reviewed. The candidates are entitled to the diplomas they will receive from Northwest High School.
One of the traditions we have at Northwest High School is to select one female and one male each year to represent our class as Mr. and Miss Northwest. Staff members select students based not just on their academic accomplishments, but their well-roundedness, integrity, school spirit, passion, involvement in the school and community, and their character. Not only are these students selected by the staff, the senior class also votes on who should receive this honor. So these two students impress not only the adults in the building, but their peers as well. Today, I would like to introduce Miss Northwest Gabby Mahar and Mr. Northwest Cesar Neary.
Our goal for this evening's ceremony is that every student's name is heard as each person crosses the stage. All students in our class have worked hard to get to this point. Some of us have battled illness, have suffered loss, and have struggled, but we made it. We have persevered. We have shown resilience when faced with obstacles, and we have one last request from all of you here tonight. It is only fair that we and our families get to hear our names as we cross the stage. This is important to all of us.
When the advisory teachers are done reading their list of names, they will say thank you. That is a time for you to cheer for your graduate. As we move on to the next list of names, cheering before then may result in names being missed. So please, wait until you hear the words thank you to applaud. We will wait. We want all 230 students to hear their names tonight.
We will begin by presenting the diplomas to the seniors that are seated on stage. Jacob Paul Ackerman with honors. Tu Quang Cao with honors. Lauren Catherine Carroll. Dylan Russell DeBruler with honors. Haley Elizabeth Cash with honors. Gabrielle Ursula Jean Mahar. Cesar Alejandro Neri. John Edward Obermeyer with honors. Heather Ann Rolfert with honors. Caitlin Nicole Scheib with honors. Emily Danielle Scheib with honors. Melanie Ray Wilsbach with honors. Sarah Marie Woodall with honors. Thank you. Will the Student Senate members please stand to receive your diplomas, and Mr. Van Gasbeck, please begin reading the names.
Sydney Jane Adams. Miranda Elise Barton. Miriam Amaki Bani. Samantha Marie Kane with honors. Tyler Sue Ann Frazier. Caitlin Danielle Gertie with honors. Kayla Victoria Hall. Anna Olivia Lemon. Alexa Ray Ridings. Adriana Natalia Salazar Jovette. Jayla Faith Marie Sanders. Nyuk Lynn Phan Tran. Lela Kaylee Tuttle. Jaden Ann Wesley. Kaylee Ray Williams with honors. Thank you.
Kevin Sean Abney. Sarah Marie Addison. Isaiah Henry Allen. Jacob T. Armathea. Brianna Lynn Bagby. Jaquez Lopez Hernandez Melendez Bailey. Antoniqua Ashana Bell. Nathaniel John Bell. Taylor Karen Bell. Chance Jeremiah Bonner. Keyshawn Quintez Barrage. Sierra Marie Boyd. Thank you.
Dominique LaShawn Braxton. Laszlo Martin Bracino Lopez. Barry Jordan Brown. India Autumn Brummett. Jalen McKinley Bryant. Michael James Acevedo Bungabong. Jordan Joshua Lee Burnett. Damian Gage Woodall. Colby Jack Bush. Thank you.
Talia Genesis Calvin. Benjamin Douglas Campbell. Michaela Jo Rayanne Campbell. Dalen Naguam Deshawn Cardwell. Gianni Najai Ewan Carpenter. Rachel Catherine Carpenter. Damon David Cherry. Sierra Elizabeth Clark. Ian Bernay Clark Wise. Jamon Lamar Clausel. Julian Nathaniel Cornwall. Dakota Lynn Cottrell. Tamijah Christian Trey A. Crawford. Joseph Aaron Delaney. Thank you.
Terrence Joseph Donaldson. Christopher William Duffy Jr. Brianna Elise Eichenlaub. Cordell Posey Embry. Sierra Reagan Fedler. Tobias Michael Byron Finley. Sophia Marie Fisher. Faith Renee Ford. Cody Tyler Foss. Chloe Larissa Boston. Derek Antoine Franklin. Michael Marquette Franklin. Nathaniel Ray Fry. Keyshawn Jermaire Fry. India Gates. Thank you.
Samuel Gasmere, Richard Sean Gibson, Yanai Desmonice Giles, Jenna Renee Goodman with honors, Yasmin Nicole Grace, Brittany Carrington Grant, Isaiah Tyree Griffin, Rihanna Lee Griffin, Haley Renee Hall, Edgar Ray Hall III, Ashley Rose Harris with honors, Courtney Jordan Harris, Jasmine Nicole Harris, Caleb Tyrese Hayes, Megan Nicole Heger, Miracle Noelle Marie Henderson, Taylor Ann Hengler, Donisha Yvonne Hill, Briasia Monique Hill, Noah Matthew Hill, Shaylin Moelle Brie Hines with honors, Trinity Marie Hinton. Thank you.
Dylan Austin Hodge, Nicholas Edward Holdhouse, Michaela Renee Hubbard, Andrew Jacob Hyde, Kara Ann Hyde, Ibakunli Ayan Igbunagoon, Dejan Walter Jackson, Dewan Ernest Jackson Jr., Trayvon Andrew Jackson, Whitley Marie Jansen with honors, Kiera Nicole J., Reagan Hiroshi John, Andrea Chantel Johnson, Gieres Jalon Lee Johnson, Trinity Danae Shantae Johnson, Brejon Madison Jones, Lacey Camille Jones, Brian Dwayne Jordan with honors, Israel L. Julius. Thank you.
Ronnie Leander Kelly, Tyshawn Elijah Kincaid, Thomas Jacob Michael Klein with honors, Brianna Yvonne Knott, Cesar Elia Lagrandier, Olivia Ellen Landfried, Tori Kai Latimer with honors, Ariana D'Angela Rachel Leary, Austin Michael Leet, Anira Danae Lewis, Anasia Dominique Love, Isaiah Darnell Lovelace, Nyasia Nico Lyons. Thank you.
Blake Donovan Madden,
Harka Magar,
Corey D. Martini, Aaron McCarthy, Destiny Nicole McDade, Jonathan Edward Astor McIntyre, Tyree Lite McKinney, Sean Christopher Miller with honors, Alicia Marie Molden, Richard Allen Moore, Jaleel Todd Morris, Taylor Leanne Morris, Jalen Isaiah Murray. Thank you.
Ingason, Oja, Othniel, Ferdinand Jr., Van Hong Nguyen, Samantha James Neese, Rayshawn Neil Oglesby, Elijah Glenn Osborne, Kashina Jamise Owens, Trisha Marie Enso Paasa, Jaden Lee Parker, Asia Louise Parks, Taj Darren Petway, Jason Eric Phelan, Brandon Ross Fong, Maxwell Jacob Pearson, Daquan Markeith Price, Jacob Isaiah Ragland, Sarah Michelle Reed, Zachary Allen Reese, D. Armani Ariane Rice, Markeisha Renee Riley. Thank you.
Leasia Eunice Robinson. Matthew Corey Prince Leon Kent Robinson. Myquan Tremel Robinson. Stephen Jordan Robinson. Tommy Dale Robinson. Ayira Array Rose. Hannah Nicole Rosen, Jamila LaRae Roundtree, Hannah London Rucker, John Herman Rumke, Haley Logan Russell, Christopher James Ryan, Nathan Ryan Sander, Scott Schlensker, Haley Elizabeth Scholes with honors, Brandy Lachey Scott, Farba Seck, Gerald Alexander Sexton, Logan Alexander Scharf, Eric Michael Shelton, Kaya Jade Shelton, Patrick Jacob Seifert with honors, Christian J.L. Singletary, Braden Siska, Celia Nichelle Slaughter. Thank you.
Andrew Michael Smith, Ariel Demetria Smith with honors, Jacob Reddington Smith, Lawrence Allen Smith, Mercedes Armani Snow, Messiah Jeremiah Snow. Christina Ashley Snyder. Roger Marcelo Soriano. Mason Daniel Stanfield. Carrie James Stargell. Joya Danita Steed. Gabrielle Shaddai Sokin Jacob Stewart. Maria Sophia Sokin Jacob Stewart. Salim Latif Stiles. Nan Sai. Ruby Taboda with honors. Denasia Unique Taylor. Zachariah Noah Taylor. Austin Michael Tom. Monalito Latae Thomas. Anaya Michelle Thompson. Richard Allen Toomey with, I'm sorry, thank you.
Dylan Jacob Vogelsong. Skylar Rose Mackenzie Warren. Kyla Kier Washington. Kalana Emil Watson. Kalijah Jaheim Wilder. Deasia Cheyenne Williams. Santi Micaiah Williams. Trey Michael Williams. Tremille Darnay Willis. Cameron Armani Wills. Leah Driana Wilson. Margaret Lynn Wood. Zachary Athol Warsham. And Richard Ranson Yamada. Thank you.
Wait, yeah. A graduation ceremony is filled with many traditions. Some are new traditions, while some traditions date back centuries. The mortar boards that the graduates wear have been associated with the commencement exercises for centuries. Pomp and circumstance, the music to which we entered the arena, was first performed in England in 1901 and has become associated with graduations ever since.
There is, however, one more tradition we must fulfill this evening. Our tassels are currently worn on the right, but must be moved to the left to signify that we have earned our diploma. This indicates that we have graduated, and this part of the ceremony will be the final tradition we will celebrate together as a class. Graduates, please stand with me and join me with moving our tassels to the left. Congratulations, Northwest
Class of 2019!